I brought Josie home, I knew what getting a new puppy means. After all, I raised many border collies over the last 37 years. But she still threw me a few curveballs. Most puppy owners don't realize they're making small mistakes over those first 8 weeks, and those mistakes can shape everything that comes after. That's why it can feel like you're constantly firefighting and reacting to your puppy's shenanigans of the day. But the truth is, puppy training doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. It just needs to be intentional. In this video, I'm going to show you the biggest mistakes I see when working with clients and what I did differently with Josie. And this is the one I see most puppy owners do, is giving their puppies too much freedom too soon. Once your puppy's already a little bit older, giving them too much freedom in the house too soon puts you at greater risk for potty accidents to happen. And Josie's certainly shown me that. She'd be out in the yard and I bring her in, and ideally I would like for her to pee before she comes in the house, and she didn't want to, didn't have to, whatever. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to trust you on this one. And it wasn't that much longer. She peed in the house after having a long streak of no accidents at all. So there's that little bit of freedom I had to take away again. We have to supervise our puppies. And that doesn't mean just being in the same room doing something else. It means eyes on your puppy. One time I wasn't paying attention. She snuck into the bathroom, grabbed the toilet paper and pulled it all over the living room. So now I keep that door closed. Josie still gets fed in her crate, and she also spends time during the day in her crate. Sometimes when I'm home and the other dogs are loose, they're all adults, but that doesn't mean that she gets the same freedom that my adult dogs get. And of course she sleeps in her crate every night. So what if your puppy ignores you? If it's in the house, I would have him trail a house line, which is just a short leash without the handle on it, or outside. And I had to do that with her early on. I have a long line, I don't know, it's about 10 meters or so, that she drags around when she's outside. And if she decides that she can't hear me for whatever reason, I can just pick it up, or I can step on it and just take away some of her options. Puppies are just learning day by day how to make better choices. And when they rehearse unwanted choices, they become habits. If they have a chance to make the wrong choice, they will do it. They're just puppies after all. As they grow up, they will gradually start to make better choices, and we can give them more freedom, but we have to be prepared to take a step back if needed and take away some of that freedom until they have earned to get it back eventually. So rather than just managing behaviors all the time, I like to give my puppies something constructive to do. So we've played this in a super easy version in an earlier video, but now we're taking cardboard fun to the next level and making it more interesting. So we're going to do another session of cardboard fun with Josie today. She's quite a bit older than when we started this, so I made it a little bit more challenging. Just gonna pop some food in there, in and around. Good, everything she does is her choice. You can hear her sniffing. I just did a bit of reloading. There's always some easy pieces that she can get from around the outside. Good. She had to tip over that box to get to the food. That's really brave. Oh, there's still another piece in there. She's just figuring out how to get to this. So this is a great game for learning how to problem solve and to gain bravery. And this was just a little snack that she got here in the afternoon. And by the way, it's not just puppies who love this. Dogs of all ages love to have some cardboard fun. This fun game teaches your puppy how to problem solve and how to figure things out. The second mistake I see time and time again is not using the crate enough or stopping too soon. For example, for potty training. Yeah, when Josie thinks she doesn't need to pee outside, if I leave her loose in the house, that just drastically increases my chances of her having an accident. So I'm still following my parking meter method. And if she thinks she doesn't need to pee right now, we'll have a little bit of crate time and then we'll try again later. This is setting her up to not make mistakes. And Josie was a little bit more challenging than I remember any of my other puppies being. But using the crate consistently was crucial in getting across that hurdle of potty training. The crate should always be a tool of prevention and not punishment. Again, Josie was pretty challenging. She really hated the crate at first. So I put a lot of value into it. She gets all her meals in her crate, and every time she needs a nap, even if she doesn't think so, she gets some form of a snack, some food, just to make it a good deal. So anytime supervision is not possible, like working from home, cooking dinner, or taking a shower, that's a good time for your puppy to get a little bit of rest. They need it. And it's really not healthy for puppies to follow you around all the time. And some of the puppies will naturally do this more than others, but I want my puppy to learn early on that just because I'm home doesn't mean that you can be next to me. Yeah, sometimes she complains if the other dogs are loose, they're all adults and she's in her crate, but we're working through that and it's gotten so much better from the first few weeks. It's also important not to get rid of that crate too soon. Typically, when my puppies are somewhere between 6-8 months old, they've become reliable and trustworthy that they don't have to sleep in it at night anymore. But I'd like to go back and forth even then. Sometimes they sleep in their crate, sometimes they don't. If we put it up in the attic and it's not around anymore, and then guess what? You might need it 6 months, a year later. And I've seen this so many times with clients' dogs, they just protest heavily. It's not just starting over, it's worse than from the beginning. So I have some open crates here in my house that my older dogs choose to go sleep in during the day. But any of them can be locked up in a crate whenever it's necessary. There are many reasons in life where a dog needs to be crated. If you're competing in any kind of sports, if you're traveling, safety in the car, or even if they have to stay at the vet's, they're going to be in a cage. So just kind of keep it present. You know, even if they don't need it every day anymore, just once in a while, put them in there, give them a snack, and then you can let them out again. And a lot of dogs will happily choose to go in there by themselves, but it's not the same thing. Can you still close that gate? And they're okay with it. I see the third mistake so often when puppy owners think that they need to provide so much activity to their puppies in order for them to be calm. So trying to tire out your puppy in order to have a calm puppy is not the solution. It's going to create the opposite. It's going to create an adrenaline junkie, and you will not be able to keep up in providing the puppy enough physical and mental exercise in order to keep them calm. Instead, we practice calm. So, for example, in the house, right from the beginning, whenever she started to get a little rambunctious, we played a little bit of boundary games, or maybe it was time for a nap in a crate. Overstimulation always leads to chaos, but calm is a skill that we can teach. The more we practice calm, the more they will be calm. And calm puppies make better choices. They don't jump up, they don't bite, they don't chew on things. They're just easy to live with. And that's what we all want in the end, right? I've had people come up to me and say, why are you always so lucky? Your puppies are so calm. And I have to say that, yeah, they don't come that way, but I teach them early on. I don't wait till they grow out of it, because that could take a while. So a great way, instead of burning off some energy, is teaching them some games. So this next game is a fun little shaping game where puppies really learn how to learn. I'm going to introduce Josie to a little shaping game. You can either use a cone, or if you don't have one of these lying around, how about just a yogurt container? So we're going to use this today. The purpose of this game is that she's going to stick her nose into this cone. She has never played this before, and I'm not going to put food in it. So we'll just see how this goes. Shaping is all about teaching something to a dog that they don't know what the end result is. And we're working on small approximations and little steps going in the right direction. So what I'm going to do is, she's already seen that I have this in my hand. I'm going to present this to her, and I'm just going to reward. So I'm not going to be talking for a little bit, but I'm going to use a verbal marker, yes, when she looks at it, when she moves in the right direction, or any interaction with the cone at this stage. So I'm going to start with throwing a cookie out first, because I want her up on her feet and moving. Okay, come on. When she comes back, I'm going to have this ready. Yes. Well, this is almost too perfect, but this was purely accidental, but she's licked those before. Yes. But right now there's no food in it. It's clean. Yes. Switch my hand. Yes. And it's quite possible that they stick their head in there once and then they don't do it again. Now we're trying something different. How about yes? Good. Now that she's sitting down very ungracefully, I'm going to put it behind my back. I'm going to get her up moving again. Just grab some food. And we'll see if we can do another couple of reps. Okay. So depending on your dog, they might just be looking at it. That could be the first step that you're going to reward. And then there's that step. I've got food in one hand and the container in the other hand. So in order to get the food from this hand, she needs to interact with this object. So this is a huge learning opportunity. Come here. Yes. Good. Now I'm going to reward her away. So we get a little bit more movement and she can move back towards it. And we might already get bored. Yeah, some teeth. Okay. It's okay, I'm just ignoring the responses that I'm not looking for. So she's learning. I get a cookie for this, but not for that. Okay. Yes, good. So I'm thinking this was probably already enough of a session for her to get started. We got to keep shaping sessions really short because there's a lot of thinking going on. They have to make a lot of choices here. So it's okay if you don't get there all the way. Just take little steps, and then the next session, it's okay to start one step further back and then work from there. And all of a sudden you can get a dog that's very enthusiastic about sticking their nose in a cone. So why do we do this? There's situations where the dogs have to either wear a muzzle, or if they had an injury and they have to wear those plastic cones from the vets. So there's a practical purpose to this besides just learning how to learn, growing optimism and confidence. And yeah, it's just a fun game to play. The goal in those first 8 weeks isn't about perfection, but it's setting the foundation for the rest of your puppy's life, built on clarity and consistency. When your puppy learns the right habits early on, you can give him more freedom much sooner. And when you combine good management with easy training games, raising a puppy becomes a lot more enjoyable for both of you. If you want to follow along how I raise puppies, make sure to subscribe. There's a lot more videos coming in this puppy training series. Thanks for watching.